Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. Power BI Fundamentals, episode 14 of 14. You stare at a blank canvas needing a comprehensive sales report by the end of the day. Instead of dragging and dropping fields for hours, you just ask a question in plain text and the layout builds itself. The future of business intelligence is conversational, driven by Copilot and Power BI. There's a lingering fear that artificial intelligence is here to replace the data analyst. That is not the case. Copilot is a powerful assistant designed specifically to accelerate your first draft. It handles the tedious initial setup, freeing you to focus on refining the actual insights. It bridges the gap between raw data and a finished report using natural language, making the initial creation phase much faster. When you open the report builder, you can interact directly with the Copilot pane. You type a prompt, such as asking it to create a summary of sales performance. Copilot immediately analyzes your underlying semantic model. It determines which metrics matter based on your request, selects the appropriate visual types, and automatically generates a complete report page. You do not have to manually place bar charts or configure axes to get started. You state your intent, and the system translates that intent into a concrete layout. This fundamentally shifts how you approach report creation, moving from manual construction to high-level direction. Here's the key insight. Copilot does not just build charts, it writes the story of your data. Alongside the visuals, it generates a narrative text box summarizing the key drivers and trends in plain English. This is not static text. Because it is tied directly to the semantic model, the narrative is entirely dynamic. If the underlying data changes overnight, or if a user clicks on a specific region in a map visual, the text instantly rewrites itself to reflect that new context. The summary always stays synchronized with the current view of the data, without requiring any manual updates. This conversational interface drastically lowers the barrier to entry for generating insights. You don't need deep technical knowledge of the tool to extract value from the data. However, you maintain absolute control. Once the AI generates that initial layout and narrative, you step back in. You can resize visuals, tweak the formatting, or modify the narrative to fit your exact specifications. It's a collaborative workflow. Copilot builds the heavy foundation, and you apply the finishing touches to ensure the final product meets your organizational standards. The true power of natural language in business intelligence is not just about saving a few mouse clicks. It's about completely removing the friction between having a business question and seeing the answer on the screen. Since this is the final episode of our Fundamentals series, I highly recommend exploring the official Microsoft documentation and trying these features hands-on with your own semantic models. If you have ideas for what we should cover next, visit devstories.eu to suggest topics for future series. That's all for this one. Thanks for listening and keep building.